Bonjour. In this video, we shall talk about negative sentences in French. The simplest and most easiest way to negate something in French is simply to say no. The final N is not pronounced and ON has a nasal sound. No. To make a sentence negative in French, we use the words non and pas. These two words surround the main verb in simple sentences. That is, when there is only one conjugated verb in the sentence. You look at these examples. Je ne parle pas espagnol. Je ne parle pas espagnol. In the sentence, the subject is je, the verb is parle. There is only one verb, and in the present tense, parle, it is the conjugated form of parler, and espagnol is the object. So as you can see, the two negative words non and pas surround the verb, surround the conjugated verb. Non comes before the verb, before the conjugated verb, and pas comes after the conjugated verb. So, je ne parle pas espagnol. Second example, il ne va pas à l'école demain. Il ne va pas à l'école demain. Here, subject is il, the verb is va, which is the third person singular of aller. So, va being a conjugated form, ne precedes fa and pas follows fa. So, ne and pas surround the conjugated form of aller, fa. So, il ne va pas à l'école demain. When the verb is conjugated in a compound tense, such as the passé composé, the no and pas surround only the first verb, that is, the conjugated verb. In passé composé, there are two verbs. One is the auxiliary or helper verb, which is the conjugated form, and the other is the past participle of the verb. So, the no and pas surround the conjugated form of the verb. For example, nous ne sommes pas allés à la fête. Nous ne sommes pas allés à la fête. Here the subject is nous, then sommes is the auxiliary verb. In this case, it is the first person plural form of the verb être. Être being the auxiliary, and here its conjugated form nous. Aller is the past participle of the verb aller. So, following the usual rule, no and pas surround the conjugated form of the verb, which is être. So, in this case, no comes before sommes and pas comes after sommes. So, nous ne sommes pas, and then the rest of the sentence, aller à la fête. Similarly, in the second example, ils ne sont pas arrivés hier. Il is the subject, sont is the conjugated form of the verb être, and arriver is the past participle of arriver. So, ne comes before sont and pas comes after sont. Ils ne sont pas arrivés hier, the rest of the sentence. An important point to note, if the verb following no starts with a vowel, then the no is shortened to simply n apostrophe. Je n'aime pas ce film. Je n'aime pas ce film. Je is the subject, M is the conjugated form of MA. This is the present in the present tense, so there is just a single verb. But because M begins with a vowel, so no which comes before the verb becomes N apostrophe, and they are combined together. Name. And pas as usual comes after the verb. So je n'aime pas. The second example, il n'a pas lu ce livre. This is in the past tense, in the passé composé. So there are two verbs. First, il is the subject, a is the helping verb, the conjugated form of the helping verb avoir. And lu is the past participle of the verb lire. So again, because a is a vowel, so any becomes n apostrophe. And pas comes after the conjugated form of the verb, so il n'a pas, and lu se livre the rest of the sentence. In spoken French, it's sometimes quite common for French speakers to drop the no so that only the pas remains. This is informal but quite common in spoken French. For example, je ne sais pas will be spoken as je sais pas in casual French. Secondly, when there is an indefinite article such as un or une, or a partitive article, du, de la, de, being used to mean some, after a negative, the article always changes to the. J'ai des livres, je n'ai pas de livres. Although in the second example, in the negative sentence, livre is plural, but the article is still the. To negate infinitives in a sentence, both pieces of the negative adverb no and pas precede the infinitive verb. Il est nécessaire de ne pas manger avant de faire du sport. Il est nécessaire de ne pas manger. Here, there are two verbs. One is il est. A is the conjugated form of être. And the second verb is manger. Now we are negating the second verb, manger. So, because manger is in the infinitive, no and pas both come before the verb. No and pas only surround the conjugated verb, but if it is the infinitive, then both come before. So, non pas manger. Tu m'as dit de ne pas lire ce livre. This is in the passé composé. A, as, a is the conjugated form of avoir. Dit, di is the past participle of dire. But we are negating lire, which is in the infinitive. Again, ne pas comes before the infinitive. Ne pas ouvrir la fenêtre. This is in the imperative. This is an instruction. Again, the verb ouvrir is in the infinitive form. So, ne pas comes before the verb. For the ne pas construction that I've covered above is technically a negative adverb, but there are more, which means other adverbs can be used in place of pas. No, then instead of pas, there are several other words which can be used. Most of the time they are in the same position as pas, although there are a few exceptions. Here are some examples. Pas encore, not yet. Je n'ai pas encore vu ce film. I have not yet seen that film. Pas toujours. Il n'a pas toujours habité en France. Pas du tout. Elle n'aime pas du tout le café. Everywhere you can see the position is mostly the same. No comes before the verb, and after the verb the remaining part of the adverb. These adverbs do not have pas. Non, jamais. Nous n'avons jamais visité la Chine. Non, nulle part. Tu ne l'as trouvé nulle part. Non plus. Ils n'écrivent plus de lettres. Now here the first and the last examples are similar to non pas. First is now before the verb, and jamais, plus come after the verb just like pas. But nulle pas comes right at the end. So nulle pas is an exception. Here, instead of coming after the verb, after the conjugated verb, nulle pas comes right at the end of the sentence. Like adverbs, adjectives can be used in the place of pas in negative constructions. Both negative adjectives like occur and null have the meaning of not any and can be used to mean that there isn't any of the noun that follows. Also, these two negative adjectives, being adjectives, must agree with the gender of the noun that follows. Occur becomes ocune and null becomes null in front of a feminine noun. Also, null can be used with uncountable nouns, but occur only with countable ones. Je n'ai aucun livre. Il n'a aucune confiance. Because livre is masculine, so occur is masculine. Confiance being feminine, aucune becomes feminine. Il ne voit nul mal. Nous n'avons trouvé nul eau. Because mal and o are uncountable, here we have to use null. There are some negative pronouns as well, which can be used in place of pas. For example, personne meaning nobody or anybody, not anybody, and rien, nothing or not anything. Negative pronouns negate the pronoun that replaces the noun. When used after the verb, they follow either the helping verb or the main verb in compound tenses, and they can be moved to the beginning of the sentence. For example, if you're asking if you saw Pramod at a party last week, you can ask, Adtu vu Pramod à la fête la semaine dernière? Now, if you didn't see Pramod, then you can simply say, Je n'ai vu personne. As you can see, personne, the pronoun comes right at the end of the sentence, rather than after the conjugated verb. Similarly, Adtu visité l'université hier? Answer can be, No, je n'ai visité rien. Or, you can also say, Je n'ai rien visité. In this case, you can see in both sentences are quite correct. You can give rien at the end of the sentence or after the conjugated verb. Coming at the beginning of a sentence, we can put personne right at the beginning. Personne n'est venu hier. Rien ne peut m'arrêter. Instead of coming after the verb, personne and rien come at the beginning of the sentence. N'importe. The French expression n'importe means no matter, or any, or whichever. Also, when the sentence includes quel, then the word must agree in gender with the following noun, because quel is an adjective, an interrogative adjective. Je veux n'importe quel livre. Tu dois prendre n'importe quelle décision. Je peux visiter n'importe quand. Quel in the first sentence is masculine singular because livre is masculine singular. The second it's feminine singular because décision is feminine singular. So n'importe quel can be translated as any or whatever or whichever, n'importe quand at any time. There are a few more. Fais-le n'importe comment. Do it anyway. Nous pouvons avoir notre rendez-vous n'importe où. N'importe où means anywhere. N'importe qui peut le lire, anyone. Il écoute n'importe quoi. N'importe quoi means anything. That brings us to the end of this video on negations. Au revoir.